Hey guys, DCRS here, and today we'll be doing a special video for farming the Cyber End Dragon, I should say, the playmat for, well, after you unlock Zane. So once you unlock Zane, you will be able to access the Cyber End Dragon. Now this card looks nice. The playmat is okay, as you've seen in the thumbnail, but in my opinion, it's probably not one of the best playmats. Considering what they've added so far, but it's okay, I guess. But anyway, to summon this guy, you need to actually fusion summon it in the actual duels, rather than actually special summoning it like all the other things except for fusion summon. Fusion summon is where it gets a bit tricky in terms of how you summon the guy, how you summon it, because you need the fusion to unfuse it, and then you need polymerization to refuse it. So the cards I've added here are very unique to this deck, this farm deck for the Cyber End Dragon playmat, sorry. And yeah, I'll explain the deck profile right now so you guys will know what I'm running. So if you have more of the Cyber Dragon Dre, you can run 3 of it. I only have Sway at the moment. I can actually unlock the second Dre beforehand, but if you have a second copy of Sway or 3 copies of Sway, you can run that instead of Dre. But if you have 3 Dre's, run that if you have Sane at level 40. But if you don't have Dre, or you only have 1 Dre, just run the rest of Zways instead. Ooh, that's a really tongue tie. But anyway, yeah, just run Zway or Dre or both, either one. It just becomes Cyber Dragon when it's on the field. And I run 1 Golden Ladybug. The reason why I run this, I'll explain later. I run 1 Outstanding Dog Maron. You can replace this with anything that literally adds back to the deck. Adds sent from graveyard back to the deck. So by discard factor, you would send it to graveyard, and then you would add it back to the deck, and it shuffles itself, so you can't deck out. It's very important for this deck, this farm deck for the mat, because you'll understand why when I'm going through the farm that you'll need Maron or no discard factor just to get it off. Anyway, I run 2 diffusions. You can run 3 if you want, but I think 2 in this deck you don't. Well, actually, you need to draw power, but you need diffusion it's very important. You need like 1 to 2. Well, at minimal you can get away with 1, but I'd recommend running 2 to 3 because it's very, very important for this farm, as you'll see later on when I'm doing the farm video. I run 1 Fusion Recycling Pan. This is how you get your polymerization back over and over again. It creates a loop, but with the other effect, where during the end phase you can target a monster in your graveyard that was used for a fusion material and it back to your hand. You do not do this in this video. You don't do this in the farm, so you leave it alone. You skip say no. And Card Trader, I run that. The reason why you would use Card Trader is to add back cards that you don't need. So when you draw a card that you think is useless at the time, you don't need it, but you mostly use this during the end of the game where you're close to decking out. But yeah, there's a loop with this card and another card that I'll explain later. I run 1 polymerization. It's good to run at least 1 prismatic or whatever you want. It doesn't have to be prismatic. I also run 1 Shard of Greed. You don't have to run Shard of Greed. It's just you need cards to thin your deck out quicker. So you can probably run this or Thunder Dragon. Just run 3 Thunder Dragons with your other stuff for draw power. But anyway, that's about it. I run 1 Recycle. Now this is how you loop out your polymerization plays or diffusion plays. So what it does is, during your standby phase, you can pay 300 life points, select 1 non-monster card, so anything that's not a monster, in your graveyard, and return it to your bottom of your deck. Now that's very important because this combos off with the Card Trader, but Card Trader will activate first rather than Recycle. So as there's a process you need to use in order to get infinite resources to fusion summon over and over again, without using pot of what's that pot called? Let me double check what it's called. Pot of Vanelvin. So you don't need pot of Pot of Benevolence in this deck. Like, I've seen a lot of decks run Pot of Benevolence, but you don't need it. This is pretty much your continuous card, and the reason why you run this is there's a free card combo in a way. So you have this, and the Golden Ladybug. Golden Ladybug will increase your life points by 500, and this you have to pay 300 life points to recycle, but since you're using Golden Ladybug to gain life points, you're creating a loop, so you always gain back cards in your graveyard without actually it works well with the draw sense, because it helps boost it up so you can draw your golden, well, I should say light monsters to your hand quicker. But that's another way of doing it. But you don't need it. You use it during the end of the duel rather than the beginning of the duel. That's my advice to you. You use this during the end of the duel, which I will show in the video. I run 1 gift exchange to give this to your opponent, localized tornado, so they don't take out. I also run 3 good goblin housekeeping and 3 Jargle Reeds, just so you can draw into your other cards quicker. And also the Cyber Dragon, just to top it off. You don't have to run Draw Sense Light. Also, you can also replace these 3 for anything else in particular for draw power, but preferably you want to have Draw Sense Light just because you want to draw these guys quicker. But the problem with this skill is you might draw out these other guys instead with the Cyber Dragons, but the chance of drawing Cyber Dragons is pretty high. Now, the other skill you can actually run in this deck is Cyber Style. Cyber Style is when you take, for each 1000 points of damage you summon out a Proto-Cyber Dragon. So, the thing with this deck is, well, not the thing, but you can probably take these 3 out and probably replace it for cards that will save you before you get defeated. So, you summon out 3 Proto-Cyber Dragons and you would run, what's the name? Instead of running probably Fusion Recycling? No, wait, no, you need Fusion Recycling Plan. So you would use like a card that you would discard and stuff just to get back your resources. But that's enough for that. So yeah. I'd like to save? Yeah, I'll save because I have the Proto-Cyber Dragons. Cyber Dragons, forgot the name of it now. Not Proto-Cyber Dragon, it's Dre, that's it. It's way Dre. Anyway, let's go on with the farm. So the person I like to use most is Yamayugi because he has exactly 1000 points monsters and he has healing cards, but you don't really care about the healing cards because you're always going to do damage, or you can just leave it alone and get a draw either way. So let's begin with the farm. So I'm going to use the Cyber Dragon Matte farm deck for this video. Just gonna lean in quicker so I can actually do this properly. I like to keep a counter by my side just in case, so that you'll know how much you've actually used. So I'm just gonna pop up something real quick just to keep myself reminded. Yeah, I'll use Golden Ladybug. So summon out Dre, don't need to use the effect. It could be anything, one of your Cyber Dragons, doesn't matter, as long as it's stronger than Yugi's monsters. Now I like to keep the good Goblin Housekeeping just in case I draw a the Wild Tornado, because that card's very, very bad to draw into. So don't use them all at once. You wait till, because you might actually, you know, draw into the Tornado card, which you don't want to. Wow, he has 3 of those cards. I'll just keep boosting up my life points due to the fact that I'll need them later on because of the not card trader, the recycle card later on. Speaking of card trader, Jargle Reed, that's not bad. So now I'm gonna quickly thin out my deck. I know you don't want to waste these, but speaking of which, there's a Wild Tornado, localized tornado, so now I can use this as much as I want. Don't need a dog as of yet, so I'm gonna. Actually, I could have put the could have put a poly back at the bottom of the deck if I wanted to, but I didn't need to as of yet. So there's recycle. So we got 1 or 2 of our combo cards. So I'm gonna summon Zwei. Just remember, it could be all 3 Zweis, so it doesn't matter if it's one of them's not. I can actually play card trade here just to thin out my deck. Well, not thin out my deck, just to recycle stuff. But I don't need to activate it just yet. Red Medicine, that's fine, I don't really care. Good Goblin, that's fine. I just need to draw out cards quicker. No, I'm not going to use Card Trader, because this will shuffle my deck. And I need to draw out the, what is it called? That card. Gift Exchange. So, I'm going to put the Poly back in the bottom of my deck. Good, I'm so glad I didn't. I think the next card's the Localized Tornado. So I'm not going to use the effect, I'm just going to use Gift Exchange. Yeah, it was the next card. Because this is like top. So if next card, then so next card, then next card, then next card. So this is my next card, so I'm going to give it to him. Yuki's going to give me a random card. So I'm just going to activate Diffusion Recycle now just because I can. And in this scenario, I'm going to... Oh, I haven't summoned anything yet, I just realized. No, I'm not going to use Drew as a way just yet. I'm going to try and thin out my deck right now. Yeah, I'm going to thin out my deck just now, because I'm at turn 14. So, I'm going to discard the Shard because I don't need it anymore. And you mostly want to have at least 1 to 2 cards left in your deck, due to the fact that you don't want to deck out, and it gives you a lower random chance of using the card trader to redraw your defusions and stuff. So I'm going to use Recycle right now, just because I can. And it's also because it's the right timing as of now. So I'm going to use Polymerization real quick, and this is where the counters come in. So I've future summoned 1 time. Let's just watch the animation. That's pretty cool. Alright, so in this case you can actually choose to use Diffusion now, but yes, I would preferably use Diffusion now, because it allows you to have at least 1 Diffusion in your grave, and 1 in your hand. So I'm going to pass turn. So that will resolve. Now my opponent's got nothing, so drop, and I drew the Maron. This is where you're gonna have to I'm not going to use a card trader now because there's no point. So I use Recycle to return this to the bottom of the deck. And this is where Maron comes in. So I'm going to use the recycling plant, to discard the Maron to add back the Polymerization from the grave. Now Maron's going to activate and shuffle back to the deck. So now you have a Maron and Diffusion in your deck. So the chance of drawing from card trade next turn is pretty high. So I'm going to use Zwei. And now I'm going to use Polymerization. And now this is number 2. So now I'm going to attack for no reason. Yeah. Could choose to use Diffusion now if I wanted to, but you preferably want to use it when you've used it up during. Oh, it's not used up. You preferably want to use it during your start of the turn. No, I'm not going to use the recycling plant because there's no need. Otherwise, that will screw this this loop. It literally would. It would screw this loop entirely. So I'm going to turn my auto on just real quick. Maron, that's fine. I'm going to use the Diffusion so I can have 1 in my grave. And yes, you want to summon out all your monsters. Yeah, I'll use Golden Labor. Why not? Card Trader. Yes, actually. So I'm gonna give this card back to Yuki. And I'll use Recycle to shuffle back the Diffusion. So you see how the loop goes, you just keep adding back the Polymerization over and over again, and Maron's going to keep going back to the deck. This could be a sort of deep-seated as well, if you want to, but I chose not to use it. Because because Draw Sense Light does help sometime, so Maron is somewhat alright. So I'm going to reveal the Polymerization, but if you have Maul's Ways, you use them all at once to reveal Polymerization or reveal Diffusion and something back all over again. So I'm going to use Polymerization real quick, and this will be number 3. The most I've encountered for Fusion Summoning Cyber Dragon in one duel is around up to 12 times. I don't think I summoned them more than 12 times. Well, maybe one time, but that was like really early on in the duel. And you have to be really, really lucky to draw all your draw cards to fit out your deck, like before turn 10. So yeah. What do I have in the grave? Just wanted to be sure. I have a Polymerization. Okay. So now end turn, no, I don't want to use the Cycling Plant because that would screw me up. So now I'm going to turn auto on, Diffusion, that's not bad. So I'm going to use a Diffusion real quick. Summon out all the cards. You don't have to actually use Diffusion right now, but it's just to time it out. So I'm going to use, well, not time out, but it's more like you can use, your recycle becomes more live. And if you misplay in a way, oh, another golden ladybug, okay. If you misplay in a way, you can just, what I would do is, if you don't have a Diffusion in the grave, you just return back to Polymerization. It's okay, because if you draw into the Maron, you can just discard Maron to add Polymerization from your deck to your hand. So in a way, you're fitting your deck either way. So yeah, I'm going to return the this back to deck. Now with this scenario, I can't do anything right now to Fusion Summon, so I have to wait a turn. This is a risk, not risk, but this is one of the few times that you have nothing left in your deck, and if you draw a Golden Ladybug or anything like, if you draw Maron, that's alright. I can use a Recycling Plant just to thin out the Ladybug, but you know what, I'll use it. Just to show you guys. But you don't have to discard the Golden Ladybug. I've got enough life points to survive. Because this is like 300 and paying 300 per 8,000. It's like I can activate 20-ish times. But in like, I don't think you can activate 20 times. You can, the most you can activate is like 10 times. So 8,000 is probably way more than enough. So we Fusion Summoned again. So that's number 4. So now summon back Cyber Dragon. And no, I'm not going to use that. And no, I'm not going to use the Recycling Plant. So either way, you kind of do have to wait a turn. I drew Diffusion. See now, since I had my auto on, I can choose to use a card trade now, which I will. Because if I draw Maron, I'm okay with that. No, I drew Diffusion. Okay. Do I want to use Recycle? No, I don't have to this turn. And now I literally do have to pass turn. So draw. Do I want this card trader? No, because there's no point. Recycle. No, I don't have to. At least not yet. So I'm going to use Cycling Plant to send the Maron and add the Poly back from the grave to the hand. Maron's going to trigger. And she's, well, I don't know if it's a girl or boy dog, but Maron's going to go back to the deck. So I'm just going to quickly defuse right here. Just a chain. And yes, I want to summon all of them out. So Maron's going back to the deck, and I'll use Way to reveal, and now I can Fusion Summon again. So now this is number 5. And you see how I've done it in under 30 turns. It's really easy with this loop. So that's number 5. No, not Cyclone. You do not want to summon or grab back your monsters, because that will screw up the Cyber Dragon. Do I use Card Trader? No. No. but I do want to turn this on just in case. Recycle? Yes, actually I do. You know what, doesn't matter. I'm just gonna return this back to the deck. Now I'm gonna use Defusion. See, it's a constant loop over and over again. You're always gonna draw one Defusion or one of the other ones, either way. Special Summon, yes. And now I'm gonna use Paralyzation again. I'm just gonna go back to the deck. And now I'm going to use Way to reveal a Paralyzation. And then fuse again. This is number 6, I think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, that's number 6. And this does count towards your summoning conditions and for summoning conditions for Cyber Dragon playmat. This also works for the Roid mat as well. Not Roid. The Super Jumble Drill. So let's see how many go. How many cards do I have on my deck? I have 1. That's probably Maron. So I believe I have a Defusion in my grave. So yes, I'm going to use Recycle. As I was right. So I return this back to the deck. Do I use Defusion? Yeah, I do. So you're just looping out Defusion over and over again. So you're always going to have a Defusion in the hand, or in the deck, or in the grave. Either way. So with this, I have to pass. Now my opponent's going to use Localized Tornado to shovel back, so he doesn't deck out, which you want. So in this scenario, let's see, I can activate a skill since I've taken a lot of damage from Recycle. I can choose to go for Maron again, which doesn't matter. I probably will draw Maron either way. There's a 50% chance of drawing Maron. Do I use Card Trader? No. Do I want to use Recycle? Yes. To put back the Defusion. And now I'm gonna use Fusion Recycling Plant to mill the Maron, to discard the Maron, sorry, to add back the Paralyzation. Maron's gonna go back to the deck, and I'm gonna use Zwei to reveal the Paralyzation. And now I'm going to use Paralyzation. This will be number 7. Also, if you're playing Zwei, just be careful of just be careful what I did at one time. I accidentally set one of my, let's just say I just set a Paralyzation. That was a stupid idea. I was supposed to reveal, but just set it instead. I'm like, crud. So I had to wait a turn. So it slowed you down just for one turn, but you still Fusion Summon either way. So, yep. That's that. No. Recycling Plant. So now I draw Maron. In this scenario, I do want to use the Card Trader, but there's a 50% chance, actually, it might be a 30... There's a 30% chance of me drawing to a Defusion. Recycle... No. I don't think I need it. No, I don't need it, because all my Defusions are back in the grave. Back in the deck. So I'm going to use Defusion to summon out all my Cyber Dragons. Pseudo Cyber Dragons, I should say. So now I'll end turn. And we're just going to keep doing this over and over again. It's a really long process. But you get used to it over time. Do I want to use Card Trader? No. Do I want to use Recycle? Yes. Pay the 300 to return this back to the deck. Oh, now I'll use if I can click it, Recycling Plant to discard and add back the Paralyzation. Now I'm just going to go back to the deck. And I'm going to use Zwei to reveal. And to summon it again. So this is the number 8, I think. I'll just double check in a second. Kinda lost track because of how many times you do summon it over and over again. Pass turn. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, I summoned it 8 times. Fusion? No. Recycle? No. because I believe all my diffusions are back in the grave, in the deck. See, keep saying grave. Summon all these 3 out once again. I believe this might be the fastest way to get the playmat. I might be wrong, but this is a loop I thought of ahead of time because I was testing stuff. I was like thinking, how do I get back my resources by looping? And I try to figure out ways to loop, and yeah, I didn't know exactly how to do it until I searched out cards that reset. Wow, really? Okay, I'll pay 300 to return this back to the deck. So I'm gonna have to pass the turn here, because you have to pass turn at least one time during this loop because you'll run out of cards. That's a Maron, cool. Card Trader, no. Do you want to use Cycle? Oh, I should have probably chained the Diffusion. Oh well, who cares? So it doesn't matter. I'll just use Maron to grab back the Problemization. Maron's going to trigger, go back to the deck. Good boy. And Zway's going to reveal, and you get the process over and over again. This is number, I forgot what count it is. Yeah. So I'm just constantly just bringing them back out over and over again. Actually, I do want to get Maron, so I'll use Draw Sense Light here just because I can. The Card Trader, no. Recycle, yes. And I'll put back the Diffusion back in the deck. So I'll use Recycling Plant to grab back the Problemization once again. And Maron's going to trigger once again to go back to the deck. So Zway is going to reveal Problemization. And now I can Fusion Summon again. I'll add it to Fatality. So you always have at least one turn to defuse and one turn to fuse. It's very... it takes a bit of time. So, in turn, no effect. Never use the effect. So, draw. Diffusion, that's fine. Card Trader, no. Recycle, I believe I still got 2 in left. Yeah, so my fusion's still in the grave. So, end turn. So if I draw Maron again, I'm just gonna, well, Diffusion. Yeah, I'll use a Card Trader. I have a 50% chance of drawing it. There's the Maron. And now I'll use Recycle to put this back to the deck. And now I'll use Recycling Plant to add back to Problemization. So yeah, you can get away with one Diffusion. But it's just if you want to abuse it a lot, then you can, well, not abuse it, but you can like defuse and fuse more times. More times? Probably the same amount, but you can fuse a lot faster. Faster? I don't know. I'm just saying things. You can pretty much get Cyber Dragon out a lot quicker. So I'll add this to the tally. Nope, don't want to use a Recycling Plant. Turn auto on because I can. Now I'll use Diffusion because I keep forgetting to turn auto on, toggle on. And yes, I do want to bring back my resources. If there was a way to draw like 2 cards rather than 1, you can actually do this combo really easily. Really more. It's more easier to do it because if you draw 2 cards, you have 50% chance of drawing into one of the other ones. So yeah, it's good. But then again, if you have like 1 card in your deck and you draw 2 cards, that could be a problem. So I'm going to end turn here. Draw. Diffusion. I do not want to draw into Diffusion. So I'll put it back in. 50% chance of drawing into that. So this is the last turn, so I'm just going to use... I don't care what I use. This diffusion doesn't really matter at this point, so I'm just going to get my last summon out using this polymerization. Whoops. Almost did that. You always want to activate Zwei first. Don't do what I did just then and just accidentally set the polymerization, because then you would have lost one summon. So I'll add this to the tally. Okay, and now we can attack. So how many times did I summon it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I summoned it out 12 times. This is the most you can actually do with this deck. So, battle phase, attack for game. You don't have to attack, you can just end turn, but I like to attack just in case. So yeah, that's how this deck works. How you can get Cyber Dragon in around 8 to 9 duels, depending on if you stuff up or not. If you stuff up, then maybe 8 duels. No, not 8 duels. Around 9 duels. And I just got my third Gaia. Cool. Yep, that's 12. So yeah, that's pretty much the playmat. And if you want to know what the playmat looked like, I'm pretty sure it showed on the screen, but I'm not too sure. The playmat is this. So, whoops, that's a different way. I'll just show you real quick. So this is the Cyber Dragon playmat. It's tilted, but doesn't matter. So that's the sleeves, which if you play Zane 100 times, you can get this playmat. No, these sleeves. But this is the mat, even though it's sideways. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this game mat farm video, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.